Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you today. Welcome along to the channel. It's time to get some of that mixed media paste used up again. I often have a lot of paste sitting in my stash that tend to go hard or get dry, and it's frustrating because when I pull them out they are not able to be used. So today what I'm doing is encouraging you to actually create with your pastes. Whether they're from this month's kit or something in your stash, I want you to get them out and get them onto a layout. So I started this particular page with an idea in mind to create a sort of a starburst background. I wanted just some angled patterned papers, and I really wanted to play around, sort of get out of my square comfort zone. I tend to sort of go for squarish kind of layers, photos, backgrounds. Because I like to see a symmetrical layout, I tend to go with square as my go-to, and I wanted to get away from that and actually challenge myself to create something a little bit different. So I'm going with an angled background, and then I'm going to use a circular photo. Now this particular photo, because I only wanted the one on the page and I knew I was going to cut out quite a bit of the background, I printed it myself at home. It is half of an A4, so it's an A5 size photo. I'm lucky enough that I print my own photos at home, so I pretty much just print whatever photo in whatever size I happen to want to be creating with at the time. So this one is from my 40th birthday, which was this year, and I had a pink themed party, so everybody had to wear something pink and we had a fabulous time. It was a really great day. I'm still getting around to scrapping some of the photos. I like to wait until I have the appropriate collection or something that really strikes me as working with the photos. So that's why I'm using this particular photo. Now, I am at the moment really enjoying creating these little cluster pieces. So taking some of the ephemera and actually just layering them up in clusters before I know where they're going to go on the page. So it kind of takes a little bit of the thought out of it. And I found that they were sort of blending in a little bit with the background. So I'm just going to black ink around those edges just to separate them a little bit and give them a little bit of dimension. So you can see I've got these sort of three areas of interest. I've got my photo section with my title, and then I've got these two clusters. I did think about using the journaling spot, but it does get left off because it's just not going to work with the page. All right, here comes some mixed media and some paste. So I thought about maybe stencil work along my starburst, but I kind of wanted to keep that little sort of explosion from behind my photo. So I am simply taking some paste on my spatula, and I'm using the small side. So instead of spreading it with the wider part of the spatula, I'm actually going to go and spread it with the shorter side, and you can see I get these little pops of colour, and then I can spread more colour around until I end up with these lines. Now this is the stencil that I was actually looking for earlier in my creating, where I had that sort of patterned paper background that was in this shape. So I'm keeping it very subtle in the background. I don't want to overwhelm the elements that I've got going on, and I want to keep that starburst as that sort of feature part of the layout. I've then hand-drawn some stitching because, let's just face it, I was too lazy to get my machine out. I wanted to get creative in a different way without having to sit at the sewing machine. Now here is where I, earlier in one of my videos, I said I was using the white spray from a previous kit, and the white sort of turned out more silver. It lost a bit of its whiteness, and I really wanted my splatters to be quite heavily white. So I'm going to go over them again with some watered down acrylic paint, and I really want those splatters to be quite white and thick. So using a paintbrush, just really getting my mixed media on today, and including lots of different techniques for you to have a look at. Once I let that dry, I get to stick everything sort of down. You can see I've mounted my happy title up on some foam squares. I'm going to do the same with these little clusters. Again, they were just getting kind of lost in that background a little bit. And then I thought, because I've got the black stitching and I've got that little bit of black stencil work as well. I just needed something again to separate this background from those clusters. So rolled up black cotton. The best way to do this is to buy the thicker rolls of the cotton. If you buy the thin rolls, it doesn't have as much circle or sort of bend to the cotton. I don't even know how to explain it. But this is what I like to do. This is how I add that little bit of dimension and texture into those clusters. All right, you'll also notice I'm using quite a bit of tacky glue, gluing everything down. That's been a recent problem for me in that some of my stuff has not been holding too long in albums, so just making sure that I am sticking things down when I attach them. All right, so I'm going to go through and add a few more bits and pieces, little embellishments, stick everything down, but that is my layout entitled Happy, inspiring you to use up some mixed media and some pastes and stash elements. So I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching.